Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Sandia platform. And today I really want to talk about what goes on in your head. It's just not true for the most part. So for the most part, we're walking around, going about our daily lives, going from our house to work, back again, picking up the kids, going off to the families, meeting our friends, doing career, business things, and we're walking around with these thoughts and feelings about people or yourself, and it's completely, for the most part, not true. It's the oddest thing when you start to observe yourself in the way you think and to really take an ongoing look at yourself in that way. You'll find out that what you thought about yourself, what you think about others, what you buy into, what others are thinking about you, is completely false. It's these patterns that are just recurring and that have taken up residence in our mind, and they've become these governments in our minds. So we self-governed really by these thoughts and these patterns of beliefs around things, people, ourselves, events, places, incidents that happened that serve as false proof that yes, it is this way, this person is that way, this particular thing is this way. But 80% of our recollection is a distorted perception. So we are viewing things through a very tiny, tiny lens, and the lens itself is completely distorted. So what happens is that neural distortion has just taken hold to such an extent that you believe this to be true. I believe this to be true, what's in my head. And when I start unpacking it, when I start dismantling it, it turns out to be completely false, what I think about others and what I think about myself. So, for example, if people say, oh, you're slow, or you're a procrastinator, or you're controlling, you've bought into that about yourself. You've bought into it. And in turn, you try to be that way. So the perception is not supporting the behavior. It's the other way around, the perception comes first and the behavior follows. So you've got to fix this distorted perception, and it doesn't have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be this huge thing like what I have done, and that is why I do these videos, because I've spent so much time trying to do that, so many decades trying to fix it in ways that were unnecessary. And it's a lot easier. You just have to, it doesn't have to take decades, it doesn't have to take years. It will take a few weeks, it will take a few months of sustained holding yourself in an objective light, stepping outside of yourself to see, okay, in this particular situation, how am I thinking, how am I feeling? It sounds crazy, like, am I going to do this the whole day? And yes, you actually end up doing that the whole day. And it becomes a natural way of thinking about yourself. Like if you're in a conversation with other people and you find yourself observing rather than engaging. I used to engage a lot and get involved in things that didn't really concern me and that I was trying to control, for example, the opinion or the flow or whatever it was. And now I see others doing it, and I see myself stepping back, and that's the nuanced way of alchemy. That is becoming an alchemist, when it's so nuanced that you're starting to observe yourself in different scenarios, different positions with your family, friends, colleagues, with society, with your loved ones, and yourself, and you're starting to see the nuanced way that you're changing and shifting and morphing into something else, and you're no longer buying into this control or lack of control. You're no longer buying into these distorted perceptions that have become laws in your mind, laws of how you expect yourself and others to show up. So really, I cannot tell you how worth it is to step outside of yourself. I can't emphasize enough how invaluable. You can't buy this off a shelf. There's no amount of millions that can give me this. Nothing can give you this, where you're starting to see yourself change and you're starting to become quiet inside. And it doesn't matter what everyone else is saying around you. It doesn't matter. It makes no difference. The world and people start showing up differently. They really do. Things that you thought were impossible become possible. Things that seems to defy the law of physics become made manifest, real in your life, in a way that you can physically, tangibly engage with. But it starts off, the journey before that starts before that in your head. So when you're walking around with all these thoughts in your head, you're alone in this thought in your head. You think others agree with you. You think that the world is agreeing with you, or these people that you've aligned yourself with are supporting you and they agree with you. But to be honest with you, you're on your own. You're on your own in whatever is going on here. You're on your own. So you got to check the distortions, the system, the framework that you've set up. You've got to check whether this framework is making sense. Is it making sense? Is it actually true? Like I will go throughout the day and I will catch myself subconsciously. I'll catch that subconscious fear-based pattern and I'll grab it and I'll be like, hang on a second. This is not me. It's not me. It's just something that I'm used to thinking and used to feeling and used to doing, but it's not me. It's not my essence. It's not who I was when I was born, And now when I talk to people and when I engage in people, I freed myself up. I'll do another video on how worth it is to free yourself up, how amazing it is when you've freed up your energy that's no longer going to things that no longer serve you. Because now I'm like, gosh, I've got a lot of mental space now to do other things and invite other amazing things in. Whereas before I was married to control, manipulation, insecurity. I was married to all those things, married to a lack of self-worth. And it showed up in different ways, or people would mirror that back to me, And now I'm like, whoa, I'm good. I'm good, And it's worth it. Trust me, it's worth it. So give it a bash. Don't give up. When you fall off the wagon, get back on again and just reassign a new meaning to yourself and to others and to people and things in your past. Just check yourself, check your mental state, check your mental health. Do it for yourself. Don't do it for others. Just do it for yourself, because you'll be amazed at these shackles that you've been tied down with of your own doing. That's completely false, completely nonsense. It's just nonsense. Take it from me. And you've had moments where you've released yourself and it's felt good. And when you release yourself permanently from it, it's a liberation there's no amount of gold that can give you that. Nothing. Okay. So that's it for today. Talk about this some more in detail in another video.